portfolio of Africa Business School. And recently I joined over here as a full professor, and I'm taking up this short workshop to make the corporate as well as the research scholars across the globe to make understand how we can engage effectively in research. As you are aware, almost all research starts with some sort of challenges, some sort of problems exactly. And these problems, we need to first of all look into whether that problem is a researchable problem or not. So the question is, many researchers look at problem with their belief system. They feel that, oh, it's a great topic to be researched. Issue is that, where is your belief system and where is your truth? The question is that every research journey is a movement from the belief to the truth. When we see people, we like them very much based on our immediate impulses, based on our immediate judgments and conclusions. But within short span, we come to know that people are not trustable, that people are not honest, that people are not showing any kind of integrity, and that people cannot be a friend of you. So the issue here we are facing is what we can believe and how we assess the truth about that person. So same example, when you talk to the corporate issues, industrial issues, whether it is digitalization or it is transformation models or operating models change or business continuity models change or something, the most important aspect is how you understand the problem, how you understand the challenge, and there start the journey from the belief to the truth. So this short session is making you aware your research journey, So any student or any research scholar, any faculty member would like to start their research, look at the problem and try to understand whether the philosophy connected with that problem is supporting you to give you a direction or not. So the paradigms and the philosophy of the research is the base connected with a problem. So when you look at the problem, the next level you need to look at is where the paradigm lies and where the philosophy is leading to. If you understand this one, research journey will be very smooth. So in a short period given by ABS, I'm just trying to share little knowledge of mine. But this program is continuing in 3 episodes. So today it is day, 26th it is day, 29th it is day. If you want to get the continuity, please attend this program, right? So let me start with this research philosophy session. The first question we need to ask, how do you understand this research philosophy? It's a term, it's a term which is percolating to every day, every moment, in every issues of life. So we need to touch every time when you get a problem to be researched, when a challenge to be addressed, touch the philosophy first. Understand the paradigms. It basically asks only 2 questions. It basically asks in a simplified form 2 questions. What is the nature of knowledge? What is the nature of knowledge? And the second question, how that knowledge is developed. Only 2 questions with which our methodology, our methods, our techniques, our tools, our value propositions everything will be on track. If you don't ask this question, you will be derailed in between. So many research scholars, especially PhD students, they start a journey and in between they stop. I cannot move. I cannot move. I stuck up. So this issue you can avoid when you look at these two questions. As a research scholar, you need to look at what is the nature of knowledge and what is the reality. So the nature of knowledge, when you talk about, when you have to understand a problem, always remember a problem is a problem. And related to that problem, a lot of realities existing. Take an example. Labor shortage is a problem. Labor shortage in industry is a problem. But are you going to research on labor shortage? Is it a researchable problem? Look at the nature of that knowledge. You go to ministry or you go to industry, talk to an HR manager, how many people are leaving or how many people are absent or how many people are leaving in an year. You get the percentage of shortage of the labor shortage. For that, you do have to do a research. The issue is that labor shortage, everybody knows. So the belief system starts. Oh, number of employees are less in the organization. Issue is not connected with the labor shortage. Labor shortage is the precipitated symptom. Fever, you can see in the temperature 102, 103, you can see the symptom. But which virus is attacking? Is it a bacterial infection or it is a viral infection? You are not sure. There lies exactly the reality. So if you want to reduce the fever, you cannot touch the fever, but you have to touch the virus and kill it. So this is the way exactly the medicine is working. The same thing is applicable in every industrial issue or business issue. Look at the problem, labor shortage. So you have to ask the question, where is the reality? Where is the reality? So the reality is people are leaving organization or they are intent to leave. They are intent to leave. They didn't leave, they will be leaving or they left. This is the reality. When an employee supposed to be there in the work situation, he or she is not available. Means that either absenteeism or they left the organization and they are not getting adequate number of people to employ back. So if you want to touch the problem, you have to touch the reality first. You have to touch the reality. So the question you need to ask here is, what is the reality? Or how many realities attached? It's not single reality. Sometimes, some problems, it's not connected with one reality, multiple reality. For example, underachievement of a kid in the school or a student in the school, achievement performance is going down. Achievement performance or academic performance is going down. Issue, there is a problem, their academic performance is going down. The question is, you know the problem. Now you have to search. What is the nature of that problem and how they built up knowledge connected to academic underachievements. So these two questions with which how and what. These are the two questions you are asking. How and what. What is the reality and how people develop, people in the sense that how the past research scholars developed it. How the past research scholars developed the knowledge. So nobody is perfect in this world. When you start up a research, when you take up a research, so you look at the best of authors around that topic. Maybe 50 best authors you have to catch up. At the same time, you need to look at the best of journals available in the world, connected with the problem, connected with academic underachievement or low performance. So you will be getting from 2018 to 2020, who are the people talking about these issues and how they built up this knowledge. Not only these last 2 years you're looking into, you're looking back. You're looking back the classical literature, definitions, theories connected with that, methods connected with that, methodologies followed by the researchers, the philosophy, the implications, the analysis part. You search everything. You search everything when you get a research article. Starts from the title to the limitations part of a research paper. You have to search it out and develop that knowledge. Once you touch the reality, you know what is the reality. You know what is the reality. So the movement starts. The movement starts. Then you also, so once you start searching the knowledge, you touch the reality. But by touching the reality, you are touching the problem. You're touching the problem. And you know how to move about it. So this research question you need to address. What is research philosophy? It's basically connected with two questions. The first question, what is the reality? And how the past researchers or the past people have developed it. If you look upon that, the research journey is a movement from doxa to episteme. It is a movement from doxa. Doxa means the belief system, and episteme means the truth. The truth. Take an example. Everybody likes Google. Everybody likes HP. Everybody likes Microsoft. Big companies. So when you look at as an outsider, your belief system is connected in such a way that the company is so good. And I have to try for that. My skills match up, my competence match up, my knowledge match up, my degree match up. I should get, this is my dream job. That's the belief system. But the issue here is, once you get into that company, how you feel the job. Or how the people inside the company feel the job. So there is a movement from outsider to insider. There is a movement from outsider to insider. The outsider have a belief system. At the same time, insider have the belief system. So two beliefs. So the movement of research starts with understanding the belief system of each other. Understanding the belief system of each other. Once you understand that, your journey starts. Your journey starts with it. Like it's a movement from the belief system of an outsider to the belief system of an insider, where exactly the truth lies. So doxology and epistemology, there are two terms you might have heard about it. The doxa are connected with the belief system of the people, insider and outsider, and episteme is connected with the method, the journey you are trying to follow, the truth with which you try to disclose the factors connected with the truth. So there is a journey waiting for you from the belief to the truth. That's all research journey. That's all research journey. So if you look upon this, if you want to develop a research philosophy, then you need to look at, first of all, where exactly the problem, there is a problem, and where the belief system is attached. Two belief system, your belief system and the participant's belief system, your belief system and the insider's belief system. And can I develop any assumptions about it? Can I develop any assumptions about it? So when you look at that assumptions, you need to look at the reality first. What is the reality? The reality, by looking upon that reality, is it facilitating me to develop a belief system or not? So if you want to develop a belief system, you need to understand what is a reality. What is a reality? So there are two kinds of realities exactly. And the term connected with this reality, we call it as ontology. Ontology deals with the reality, a search towards reality. What is reality? The question of what is reality, take an example, customer satisfaction, digital transformation, absenteeism, motivation, leadership, all terms you are talking about in life connected with the research. Everything is a reality. Everything is a reality. And you are trying to explore that reality. You are trying to move from the belief system of that reality, how the customers believe about it. That means the service provided by a train. Take an example in Malaysia, mass rapid system, different countries, mass rapid MRT is there. Mass transport system is there. How people are traveling across every day. But the question is, are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are they providing proper service? Do you get the correct signboards? Even night, can you travel? What about the seating arrangement? What about the temperature inside the train? Are you getting the comfort, the money you're paying? These are all realities. These are all realities. So basically, we are getting a problem. The customer satisfaction is going down. So when the customer satisfaction is going down, you are not searching exactly customer satisfaction as a problem. You are searching the realities connected with that problem. If you don't search the realities, if you don't search the belief system connected with that reality, you cannot touch the problem. You cannot touch the problem. This is the issue. So we forget to touch the reality. We forget to touch the reality. We touch the problem. It's very difficult for you to move. That's what people are, they stumble upon many times. They cannot move. They're stuck up. Without understanding the concepts, without understanding the conceptual frames, without understanding the research frames, without understanding the theoretical options, without understanding the link, the logic, the components, the boundaries, and the propositions. If you don't understand that, you cannot understand the theory connected with that. So the belief system is leading to many aspects in research. So you need to move from, always remember, doxology to epistemology. Means that a belief system to the truth. You are telling what is, so in that journey, when you look at the belief system, you are telling everybody that I feel there is a problem in the belief system of the people. They're not looking in the right angle. And they're not consistently looking. Satisfaction. Day in memorial, it is a problem. Customer satisfaction or customer delight or brand issues, all are HR issues, IT issues, supply chain issues. Day immemorial existing it. But the question is why these people are still doing this research? Why there is a continuity of this problem? Means that that problem cannot be researched in a mono method or a kind of single belief system. And likewise, there are so many inconsistencies connected with the problem. The way approached by the researcher, method followed by the researcher, and the techniques followed, the population selected, or the theory followed, everywhere you can see the inconsistency of the belief system. Inconsistency of the belief system. The way you think, don't tell, I should believe that way. No, I will be looking into a different angle. If I don't look at a different angle, everything is settled. Everything is settled. So there is no point in penetration. There is no point in penetration. Means that there is no point in research. There is no point in research. So the movement you need to facilitate with a different belief system. So that is contemporary in nature. That is contemporary in nature. You need to look at the belief system in the present, not in the past. And you should light to the movement towards new understanding, new interpretations of the same problem. The problem is so complex. Customer satisfaction, everybody is telling it's a good variable or it's a good concept. Issue is It's a very, very, very complex issue. It's a very complex issue, connecting from IT sector to iron and ore sector to retail sector to entertainment sector to engagement sectors of any kind of industry. If there is no customer satisfaction, they don't put the money to your company back. And it affects the business performance, so company cannot exist. Big issues connected with a simple term, customer satisfaction. It's a complex phenomenon. So the belief system need to be explored. And that decide what is the reality, that decide the research philosophy. Research philosophy is basically divided into two belief systems, the way they built up the knowledge. Some people told a reality is intangible in nature. Some other told the reality is tangible in nature. This tangibility and intangibility make a big separation of the belief system, and make a big differences in the belief system of people. How? So first question, nature of reality. Nature of reality is tangible. Nature of reality is intangible. Is intangible. So the belief system developed through the knowledge updation, knowledge upbringing is some people through intangible way, some people. What is this difference of tangibility, intangibility? Simple. Can you touch it? Can you smell it? Can you weigh it? Can you measure it? These are the four questions you need to ask, looking at customer satisfaction, looking at service quality, looking at branding, looking at human resource management issues, intention to live, intention to stay. Or look at financial performance of the company. Look at, and then think, is it a tangible phenomenon or intangible phenomenon? That decide four aspects, like just ask these few questions. Is it, first question, measurable? Can I smell it? Can I weigh it? Can I touch it? Or can I measure it? Only these four questions you ask. You can get an idea about the reality. But the other phenomena, you cannot touch it, you cannot smell it, you cannot weigh it, you cannot measure it. But you can feel it. You can feel it. I used to give this example to somebody every time in the classrooms. You know that in between the couple, they used to make this statement, I love you so much. I love you so much. The question is, there is a variable, there is a concept inside the statement, I love. So there is a four letter inside. My question is, can you feel, can you touch it? Can you smell it? Can you weigh it? Can you measure it? This is the four questions you need to ask. If you cannot do that, we are very clear that I cannot touch it, I cannot smell it, I cannot feel it, sorry, I cannot touch it, feel it, and measure it. But what I can understand, I can feel it. How much he loves me or she loves me, I can easily understand that phenomenon. Only me, I can understand it. Means that my subjective frame of reference coming in judgment. Coming in judgment. This is the issue exactly. It is fully subjective in nature. With our frame of references, with our knowledge base, it is coming up. It is coming up. So our past is influencing, our frame of reference is influencing, our social system is influencing, all we are looking into our own angle. And that's the way you need to touch the belief system. So this belief system, we call it as one type of reality is objective reality, and the other type of reality, we call it as subjective reality. So when you look at a problem, many realities or multiple realities are connected. So when you have to do a research, look at the belief system, how they built up, how the people of the past, how the authors have built up the past knowledge based on tangibility and intangibility, based on measurements and based on observation, and based on these two factors, subjective reality or objective reality. So objective reality means you can touch it, you can smell it, you can weigh it, you can measure it. But subjective reality indicate you cannot touch it, you cannot smell it, you cannot weigh it, you cannot measure it, but you can observe it, you can understand it. And The journey starts in the subjective reality, like you observe a phenomenon, you go to field, talk to a participant, understand his emotions and feelings, and then come back, and look at it, how they felt it. How they felt it means that you are touching the feelings and expressions of the people, and which is very hot, which is I can tell you primary data. And based on that, you're making some sort of understanding. So an observation is leading to understanding, and understanding is leading to description, and that is leading to interpretation. So some people, some researchers, they observe the phenomenon. They don't have any assumptions initially. They go to field, they touch the people, they understand their feelings and emotions. After that, they develop a belief system, and after that, they develop assumptions. Some people like that, and that is connected with subjective reality. But without going to the field, look at the literature available, and they look at the realities connected with the problem, and finally they try to look at the connection between this. Then they ask this question: can I touch it, smell it, weigh it, measure it? Yes, of course. And then another question is asking, do I have the concepts? Because concepts are coming from literature, secondary literature or tertiary literature. Do I have the concept? Second question, do I have the conceptual frame? Do I have the theory? Do I have the theoretical frame? Do I have the measurements or instruments? If you have all these things, yes, it's leading to a different belief system or different assumptions. So reaching to the philosophy is subjective and objective. Immediate level, it goes to two philosophies. One type is positivism and the other type is interpretivism, connected to constructivism also. So two extremes. I'm not limiting you to these two. A lot of philosophies available. In between also. Mixed method, if you consider neither positivism nor interpretivism, it is called as pragmatism. Pragmatism. If you move away from all these philosophies and you would like to do a case study, so you cannot follow either of these one. You have to follow realism or critical realism or functional realism. So when you look at a problem in a different angle, then the philosophies are changing. So looking at the problem is the first thing, understand the reality is the second thing, then look at which philosophy can guide me. So this is the point with which a belief and assumption is interconnected with research philosophy. And if these two are wrong, your research design will be wrong. Being an evaluator of maybe around 32 institutions, universities in the world, whenever I'm getting a thesis to evaluate and I'm looking upon this connection alone, many times I could see that there is no link between these three. And entire research design is wrong. They conducted the data collection. They conducted all kinds of knowledge connected with the field. And they come back, they interpret, some hypothesis accepted, some hypothesis rejected. Everything is happening. Everything they did it. But the reality is, the way they looked at the reality is in a wrong way. Hence, because its implications are very less. Industry cannot take your decisions. Industry cannot take your observations. And the stakeholders, like what you would say, the suppliers or the value chain people, anybody engaged into the supply chain process, they cannot take any decisions based on a wrong reality you identified. A wrong reality connected with the problem you identified. So a philosophy is important. So I'm taking you to the research onion loop. Everybody knows it. You can see that here. This is called as onion loop. Onion loop. It's like an onion. All right. So you can see that the outer circle. This is you. So you are standing here. So before you reach over this data collection and data analysis, this stage is called as research strategy. This center circle is called as research strategy. But the outer circle, all are connected with measurements or observation. So if you ask me, the movement of a research is, what is exactly? This is a movement from measurement model to the structural model. So where is the measurement model lies? Measurement model lies in all these aspects, except here. Because here, when you connect with the structure, what is structure? Structure is the link between two concepts. One is called as the causative concept, and the other is called as effect concept. So a structure building up means that a model is building up. A model is building up, and that model is connected with an axis, means that hypothesis or assumption. So before you connect, before you make an axis between the two concepts, your philosophy should be right. Your research design should be, means that approaches should be right. Your strategies should be right. Your choices of selection of the method should be right. Time horizon you can conduct the research should be right. And the technique select, all these things. If you wrong here, if you're wrong on the outer circle, you started your wrong research journey. Your research design will be wrong. Your method selection will be wrong. Your the kind of approach you are following inside, it will be wrong. And sectional design, within the design itself, are you going to follow the cross-sectional study designs or longitudinal study design? That will be wrong. And finally, your entire data collection will be wrong. And finally, the findings will be wrong. So always your philosophy, you touch the problem first, understand the reality. So here, positivism. Positivism means that the reality is objective in nature. Interpretivism means that the reality is subjective in nature. So I cannot, in the case of interpretivism, I cannot make any kind of predictions. When you connect with the two concepts also, you cannot make any prediction. So in that particular case, I cannot predict. Hence, what I can do maximum, I can observe the phenomenon, I can understand the phenomenon, I can describe the phenomenon, and finally, to the world, to the entire research world, I can interpret a problem or a reality. That's all one type of research is doing. That is interpretivism philosophy. The other people, they are very systematic, they're very structured. There is no flexibility in the process they have to follow. Everything is rigid structure, and you have to follow that. You need to have proper problem statement. You need to have proper research questions. You need to have proper objectives. You need to have proper hypothesis. You need to have the proper selection of the softwares, analysis. All the things should be perfect. Means that everything is objective and the reality is independent. You can make an independent research. But the problem of here, interpretivism, is the question, who are the instrument of interpretivism? Who are the instrument? You look upon that kind of research, a researcher is the instrument. A researcher go to the field. Researcher collect the data. Researcher understand the phenomenon. Researcher interpret it, and researcher make it as a theoregram. But at the same time, positivist people, they never go to field, even without knowing the respondent. You can send it through Google, surveymonkey.coms or anything, online platforms. They don't believe that you have to be in the field to collect the data. You can detach. Still, I can search the reality. You can detach from the reality, and you can search it and understand it. But in the case of the others, they're telling, no, I cannot do that. It's connected with the feelings and expressions of the people. I cannot detach from the phenomenon. Hence, because I have to go to field, I have to sit with the participants, and I have to explore it. So one type of people, they explain everything before they take the research because their belief system is concrete. But some type of people, their belief system is not that strong because they couldn't build up. The phenomenon is so complex and it's very deep rooted. So without attachment, they cannot explore it. So one is exploration, another is explanation. So one side of people, exploration, another type of people, exploration. So that designed, can I explain the phenomenon and start the research? Or can I explore the phenomenon and start the research? These are the two things you need to understand. So this makes another differentiation of the designs. Means that the philosophy designs the approach. So in the approach, there are two approach, deductive and inductive. Means that positivist people believe that you have to search a problem by deducing a theory. By deducing a theory. But the interpretivist people believe that no, I don't want to deduce because the same factor is going to precipitate in the field or not. I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure about it. So what I have to do, I have to go to the field first of all. Before I search a theory, I should search for the facts. I should search for the facts. So once you get the facts and figures, then you are looking upon which theory is suitable. So belief system is coming later, but the belief system need to be obtained from the beginning. So the positivist people, they deduce an action plan from the theory. But thus interpretivist people, they deduce the action plan by touching or understanding the reality. So many time, you cannot have a proper structure when you go with interpretivism philosophy because still in the stage of exploration. But in the case of positivism, yes, you need to explain everything, concepts, conceptual frame, theory, theoretical frame, instruments, everything to be explained, and the number of respondents, sample, population, method, methodology, everything should be explained well. So that is the second stage, deductive and inductive. That's we call it as the epistemology. So this is the stage with which we are touching the episteme. Episteme means that how I can move from the belief to the truth, how I can make a journey, how I can make an investigation. How I can make an investigation. This is the question. So the movement of investigation starts from the philosophy, then moving to the research design, broader research design. So within that research design, you have to look at here, there are two. You can see that the time horizon. Based on the timing, a type of design coming up is called as cross-sectional and longitudinal. Cross-sectional indicate that one time or maybe around 4 weeks duration, you just go to, one time you go into the field, collect the data and make a kind of exploration or explanation. But in the case of longitudinal study, many times you are going to the field and many times you are understanding the phenomenon, clarifying and confirmation. Understanding, clarifying and confirmation. So this circle, vicious circle is continuously moving on. So one time visit is not sufficient. You need to understand many times and touch the reality or feel the reality and then try to make that abstract phenomenon to a concrete phenomenon. So it takes a journey. But in the case of positivist people, deductive level, theory is ready, concepts are ready, everything you can touch it, smell it, weigh it, and measurement possible. But these people cannot do that. So many times you have to go to field. The best example I can tell you, connected with the longitudinal study design is a 7-up. So 35 years back a study in which when they have selected around 5 small kids and they used to have 7-up. And at the age of 7, they asked a question, why did you like, which is your best soft drink? They replied back 7-up. But after 7 years, next 7 years, till up to the time they reached to the 14th year, they never asked any question to these kids. They become adolescent. So they have gone to the village and they once again asked the question. Means that you remember 7 years gap. 7 years gap. They asked the same question. Which soft drink you like? 7-up. At the age of 21, 7-up. At the age of 28, 7-up. At the age of 35, 7-up. At the age of 42, 7-up. This is reflecting brand equity. This is reflecting brand association. So we can define all these concepts in an interpretive way. Many times going to the field and confirm it. Clarify, confirm, clarify, confirm. But these people never do. Positivist people, they never do. Whatever thing available within a short span, collect it, analyze it, and produce it through quantitative way. Issue is that some realities are mono-reality. Some realities are multiple reality. So when you use, you need to understand the errors and mistakes of each method. If you follow a certain concept connected with a problem, That's not a complete research. That's not a complete research. At the same time, when you try to touch all the factors also is not an appropriate research. So many times you have to move in between. That's what we call it as in mixed method research. We have to follow a different philosophy, which we call it as pragmatism. If you can see here, it is called as pragmatism. So this is the onion loop, your approach, your movement from belief to the truth, and this decide your method you have to follow. So if you follow positivism, you will be following experiment and survey. But if you follow interpretivism, ethnography, archival research, a lot of options available to you, phenomenology, grounded theory, ethnography, narratives, semiotics, decision trail, a lot of methods available to you to do that. So you need to understand when your philosophy changes, your methods changes. You cannot mix up these two things unless and until you change the philosophy. So that is leading to your, so this is the thing I would like to share to you, how the world views a phenomenon. So here it is lying, the outer circle is the belief system. You need to understand your philosophy, whether it is positivism, focus on. So positivism, the purpose of these people is prediction, causal explanation and prediction. But in the case of interpretivism, their approach is basically to understand the phenomenon and make people aware about it. So positivist people having assumptions, clear-cut assumptions connecting with the concepts, causative concepts and effect concepts. We call it as independent variable and dependent variable. But in the case of here, basically, they may go with one reality. So they cannot have a causative and effect also. Many times they explore, they take one reality and they try to explore it. They try to explore it very deep and go and get hidden factors connected with the reality. So here we cannot have an assumption. An assumption is not leading to you. Instead of that, the question you want to address, hermeneutic inquiry is connected with thick descriptions and you are trying to analyze it and understand it. So we need to have hermeneutic inquiry question, research questions only available. So there will be a broad research question in the case of interpretivism so that we can accommodate as many number of questions coming from the field. That is the purpose of a macro question. You should not ask a micro question and lead the respondents towards your reality understanding. No, that is subjective in nature. But in order to make this subjective reality to be more objective understanding, to get a more understanding observation, then you have to pose only a macro question, and in which we can accommodate as many number of variables. We can accommodate as many. So they based on that, their methods also different. Survey, experiment, question, all these things are coming. Here it is coming, case study, discourse analysis, all these things are coming. But if you ask me the best method available to do a research now, maybe depends on the phenomenon. I may suggest a mixed method research, and at the same time, I may suggest grounded theory and action research. What industry want is action research and grounded theory. Certain phenomena are existing, certain problems are existing in industry. Still, we are not aware about why this problem is happening, and that problem is very specific to that industry, so you cannot compare that kind of context or the concepts coming from other units of industries. You cannot bring that, and it is a new problem and a new kind of a system to be created. So you need to follow grounded theory approach to develop the concept, to develop the proposition, to develop the logic, to develop the boundaries, and coming up with instruments and then measure it. So we need to starts from an exploration to explanation. So this is the movement exactly. We need to do that so that several types of mixed method designs are available, like sequential explanatory design, sequential exploratory design, sequential transformative design. This is connected with sequential. Another, you look into concurrent triangulated design, concurrent embedded or nested design, or concurrent emancipative or transformative designs. So these kind of designs available under mixed method, you can use it, but it's all decided not by you, but by the reality. So if you fail If you fail to understand the philosophy outer circle, you are wrong. So basically, types of assumptions connected with it is that I'm taking a little more time, around 10 minutes. I'm trying to wind up. You can ask questions on that. So types of assumptions is the first question. What is the number of type of assumptions are there? What is the reality is the first question. And what is the epistemological assumptions means how you approach the reality. And finally, how your values are, you're trying to make the study, you're trying to make the study more effective by detaching the phenomenon or attaching, how your value propositions you try to cut off from the study. Your understanding and your belief system is not influencing the study. This is exactly the three questions you need to ask. So based on that, ontology is connected with the reality I explained to you. In business management, these objects include organizations, management, individuals, working lives, organization events, artifacts connected with culture, values, ethics. A lot of things are coming in business management. So your ontology therefore determines how you see the world of business and management, how you see the world. First question, how others see the world. There is a concept called as Cooley's looking glass concept in psychology. It's called as how you look at the world, how the world look at you, and making an assumption on both these two together. How they evaluate you. Take an example, you are seeing a mirror and you know that I'm wearing a blazer, a shirt, and likewise, right? You got an understanding about you. But the question is, did the same way the world understanding you? See, this is a cross validation of understanding. But you at the time you look how the world look at you, you are not making any kind of evaluation. They tell you that this is the way I'm looking. You are wearing an ugly blazer. They're giving a reality orientation to me. I'm looking upon, I don't find my blazer is wrong. So I understood that there are two findings coming up, observations coming up. And my next stage in the Cooley's looking glass concept is how I evaluate and how I try to understand me once again. There lies the concept of self, Cooley's looking glass concept, or the self, Cooley's looking glass concept of understanding the self. The same thing is applicable in your case also. How you look at the reality, how the reality is looking at you, and at the same, that means that others, and finally you come up with, there lies the real truth. So the epistemology is the movement of how you investigate the phenomenon. This is a question. How you investigate the phenomenon. Is it through? Is it through a quantitative research, or is it through a qualitative research? Is it through positivism, or is it through interpretivism? Is it an intangible phenomenon or a tangible phenomenon? Is it an objective phenomenon or a subjective phenomenon? Is it measurable or is it observable? So these kind of questions, when you ask, your epistemology will be very clear, right? So the axiology is, to what extent, when you conduct your research, how much your values penetrate into. If your value system penetrating to your study, then it will be less reliable and less valid external observations. So always remember that we need to check the aspect of reality, the attachment, how much the personal feelings of mine is influencing the study, and likewise. So your choice of philosophy, reflection. I know that the truth is, take an example, I used to tell this truth. If you want to make a study of sexual harassment in industry, if you make a study on that, look at the phenomenon. Look at this term, sexual harassment, between the boss and the subordinate. And this is a very sensitive topic, and nobody wants to tell it out. As a quantitative researcher, you go to the field and ask this person, how many times you experienced it? Frequency. They look at the numbers. But the quantitative people, can you tell me how much pain you felt it? So the questions they are asking is totally different. How many times you experienced this a quantity, and they are arriving at, this is a severe issue. And other people, they're telling, this is my pain attached at the time of that sexual harassment. This is my pain. I felt it. And these people totally ignore, and these people try to dig it out. This makes, sometimes you have to attach with the phenomenon and make a study. And this makes you have to detach with the phenomenon and make a study. This is a reality orientation and philosophical orientation. So when you look at this diagram, you can see that there is positivism and there is interpretivism, and in between there is a stage called as pragmatism. So you look at, this is called as paradigms of research, and this lead to ontology. Means that what is the reality? What is the reality? So what is the reality? Your answer is reality is objective or reality is subjective. So that is decided by, who decide that one? Decided by the literature. If literature available, concept available, theory available, instrument available, testing possible, respondents available, then of course that is an objective reality. If the concept's not available, clearly maybe available, but it is still vague. Theories, not at all. I couldn't identify proper theory connect because the concept not precipitated well. So how I can determine a proper theory? Instruments, impossible to measure it because the reality is within very deep inside the human being, and it is feelings and expressions of the people, so they cannot. And the literature, very less available, but observation possible. I can feel the people. I can feel the people, but I cannot measure their emotions. So respondents at the same time, very limited only. So always ask this question, can I touch it, smell it, weigh it, measure it? This is deciding here. If you cannot, this is deciding. And that decide your epistemology, means that from the belief, you have to move towards your journey of research. Approach means research design. This research design is connected with methodology. This is quantitative methods and this is qualitative methods. And in the case of mixed method, you're trying to integrate. I told you around 6 types of designs, either of which you can use it. Depends on the way you start your journey. So here, quantitative tools available, we are making use of the tools. It means that this is method. Method is statistics here in quanti, but the method is narration, grounded theory, case study, ethnography, semiotic, decision tree, focus group. And you can see that many methods available to you in qualitative research. But here we have to fully follow statistical application, and you are getting measures of central tendency to measures of dispersion to the significant test. This is the movement. So we need to have descriptive statistics as well as inferential statistics. That is the content. But in this case here, it is fully interpretation. So you look at positivism is believing in prediction or a causation, but a qualitative researcher or interpretive philosophy that believe in interpretation of the truth, prediction of the truth and interest. So this is the journey of Conti and Colley. So when you look upon specifically Colley, you can see that we starts with literature. So in the literature, a little bit we get it, and you go to the field, observe, understand, describe, and interpret. And that interpretivism, it is leading to the methods. So basically, it is connected with the research questions alone. You need to ask the question how and what, and never ask the question why. Because the word itself is coming. Why? Because means that causation. A relationship is not a causation. You find the things connected, but it's not a causation. Unless and until you prove the causation, then only you can tell a finding in quantity. But here you are not looking upon causation. You are looking more connected with relationship, association, and its interpretation. So basically qualitative research is using for concept development, model development, theory development, instrument development. But the quantitative people, they are engaged into causation, and the causation is to be analyzed. When you analyze, you confirm the model. Once you confirm the model, you can generalize the model. Once you generalize the model, you can predict it. So confirmation, generalization, and prediction is a target of quanti, but interpretation is a target of Colley. If that's the case, so you need to understand the philosophical routing very clear. So here it is connected to that. Here it is connected to the change. So this is the first interaction to you all. I took little time extra and I tried to explain in a very very short time. Usually I take these sessions in 2 days or 3 days and likewise. So make the people understand with a lot of examples. Today I could share only very little examples because of the time limit of this webinar. And this is an initiative taken by Africa Business School to connect with best of research scholars in the world and they try to ask, they try to challenge the professors, and they try to understand the knowledge connected, and they try to touch the African continent. It's a beautiful campus, Africa Business School. It started in Morocco, and a wonderful business school. We have affiliation to Columbia University. We have affiliation to Michigan. We have affiliation to HEC Paris, and many institutions are connecting with this business school. So we try to encourage the best of research scholars, the best of academicians to come down over here and start the research portfolios or any kind of contributions they can make. So this is an effort done by ABS to you people. And I hope you have enjoyed this session. Now I have to move to the question answer session to you. So hello, please, are we going to turn the slides? And see, everything is available. You know that you look at enter PPTs of philosophy. I'm not telling anything different than others. Everything is available in the world. If you go to my LinkedIn platform, everybody sitting here, all these diagrams available, you can easily download it. You can easily download it. You go to my ResearchGate portfolio. You can download all my articles. Dileep Kumar, you just type it, you will get it. So there is no point in everything I'm sharing in the world. So there is no point in PPT. There is no point in it's most important thing is how we can explain it and ensure the transfer of learning to the common people or the research scholars and likewise. So I feel that the video clip, you have to talk to Rita is already attending this. You can just check with after this session. Second, please explain subjectivity. And subjective means you're looking in a yellow glass. Means that you wear a yellow glass and with which you are seeing everything in yellow. You change the glass to blue, you see everything in blue. Means that your frame of reference, your belief system is influencing the problem. Take an example, customer satisfaction. You take it as a subjective feeling. It is a subjective feeling of the people, customers. You can give a questionnaire and measure it. But I feel that they don't tell you. You are trying to close the emotions of the people. I want to purchase Apple phone, or I would like to try Samsung, or I should try Nokia, or any kind of brands available. I would like to change my preferences, but that is not explored. Whether you like the phone or not, that's only you are exploring. So it limits you. It limits you. It means that the objective approach, when you are trying to reduce or deduce from a theory, it try to deduce or reduce the number of concepts. In which issue of Conti is that they cannot attend all reality. If the problem is connected with multiple, I was exactly telling you, I didn't complete it, academic performance and achievement, multiple reality, I couldn't complete that. Let me tell you this way. Why the students are not performing in the classroom? Because it can be connected with the husband and wife conflict, parents conflict, and it affects the psychological level of the student. And he cannot focus, or he couldn't focus she couldn't focus in the classroom. Another issue means that a reality of this issue may be connected with the parents. Another is it's a teachers giving corporal punishments. They use the rods to make the student learn rather than they cajole, they embrace, understand them, and they try to groom up them. A good teacher is like that. They never try to judge immediately. They try to understand only and try to pick up instead of judgments. They try to look. So a teacher's angle you are looking upon, teachers are not good. Another, you look at the school. School doesn't have the proper resources. Library is not there. Lab is not there. They couldn't perform in the final examination. So you're looking upon an infrastructure technology angle. You're looking in a government angle. Government fund has reduced. Government fund has reduced 30% reduction. So next onwards, we cannot support you. Of course, based on that, they cannot get the proper learning atmosphere, and it has reduced. Another angle you look at in like the teachers angle or the students angle itself. I don't want to study. I don't know why I'm going to this school. I just want to engage in some technology, repair all kinds of things. I don't want to get to the classroom at all. So student angle, teacher angle, university angle, or government angle. So a reality is lying in multiple angle. problem with positivism is that they look at one angle. They look at teacher's angle. They look at the student angle. But the case of Colley is that they look at multiple angles. But the issue is that measurement difficult in Colley. Only observation possible. So that particular day, we are making use of mixed method research. So the subjective reality is more connected with the personal belief system is influencing. But the objective reality ensure that no way you can attach with. No way you can attach with. Let the issue exist independently. So the independent measurement can go and independent researcher can go do and collect and come back. No influence at all. This is the difference between these two. So how do we deal with panel who come from different paradigm? It's very tough. It's very tough. I'm telling you, my problem when I was guiding a student in one of the AACSB accredited campus in Malaysia, which is in Kedah. My first PhD student faced a big issue connected with that. I did in mixed method research. The first time somebody is experimenting in that university. It was an AACSB accredited campus. You remember, I'm stressing this one. But the issue is that this person, the panel, when they arranged, they put everybody into quantity. So our study design was sequential exploratory study design. Means that we start with Colley and then moving towards quantity. When my student presented in the symposium, we got a better appreciation from the panel, first panel, remember first symposium. No problem, amazing work. This is the way the research should be done. But after that, when it's gone to proposal defense, the people sitting in the panel was fully quantitative people. They don't understand. What do you mean by triangulation? What do you mean by bracketing? What do you mean by intuiting? What do you mean by self-reflection? They don't have any idea about it. And what happened? The disastrous end. And they want to change everything to quantity. So this question is very relevant in a realistic context. The problem is a PhD journey, but the reality is these panel members. So there is a big gap between the belief system. People think that the panel there to support you, but many times the panel don't understand also. There is a reality connected with that. So this is the way I would like to answer. So panel matters a lot. If they don't understand these two ways, your case gone. You cannot move with them. So it is a must to mention the research paradigm in all. Yes, when you write, you know that when a publication is the prototype of a big research. So that big research may be having around 300 pages or 400 pages exactly. 300 to 400 pages of thesis. So this thesis, you are converting it as 10 to 20 page. Still, you need to. So in the thesis part, you might have done all this explanation. Take an example. When you write the chapter number 3 of your PhD, start with a short introduction. What are the things in this chapter? And second level, you have to write research philosophy. You need to get the quotations. You need to talk about positivism. You need to talk about interpretivism. You need to talk about pragmatism. And you are telling why positivism is suitable to my study. And you justify. Once you justify that, the next level is, okay, I follow objective reality. Because of that, I'm following an epistemology connected with quantitative research. My question is, quantitative you identified because of positivism. So within the quantitative research, which design you are going to follow? Okay, I'm going to follow cross-sectional study designs. So you have to tell about what is cross-sectional study design and how the cross-sectional study designs are suitable to my research frame. So there is a movement, philosophy to the method, to philosophy, to the methodology, to the design, then coming frame, then coming measurements, then coming hypothesis formation. All things are well connected. You need to mention. It's must, you need to mention. And you have to devote much time for this one because experts are experts many times. They look at the probability of looking this problem in a multi-reality perspective or a uni-reality perspective. So is it a must? Okay, how can I develop and test hypothesis? Absolutely good question, this one. This is exactly the role of sequential exploratory study design. So when you develop a research frame, many concepts, we cannot measure it. So the first task of the researcher is qualitative intervention. So grounded theory is the best approach to move that. So it's not a theory, it's a method. It's a method. Grounding new theory, that is grounded theory. Grounding new concept, grounding new literature. This is grounded theory approach. Grounded theory approach. So the most important thing is when you apply this one, you understand the hidden variables, the hidden aspect connected with a problem, and you try to bring it out, and then only you can develop the items. Once you develop the items, you put it in categories. Once you put it in categories, it is leading towards more connected with, it is leading towards the connection, establishing the connection, and you are moving towards developing of an instrument. Developing of an instrument. So the instrumentation process starts with the support of validation, phase validity, content validity, criterion validity, construct validity, discriminant validity, and convergent validity. Lot of that, even in PLS and structural equation model, all kinds of modelings, exactly. You can use composite reliability, all kinds of things you need to measure. Or when you use the, what you would say, SPSS, like the eigenvalue of connected with each factor, and likewise, you need to look at that. Finally, only you can decide which are the items connected with the concept, which are the items not connected with the concept, the items not giving appreciation from the respondents, you have to take it out, and the items which is giving the credibility to be retained. That's the way you. So the paradigm you have to follow is, in that particular case, is fully interpretivism. Fully interpretivism till up to the time you develop instrument. And once the instrument develop, then you need to search the frame connected with the theory. You have to follow from induction to deduction. So the movement is induction to deduction. The movement is exploration to explanation. Got it? So subjective phenomenon to objective phenomenon. So this here you have to follow. If you want to once again continue the research, then definitely you have to follow sequential exploratory study design, and the philosophy is pragmatism. How can I develop and test? Okay, that I have explained to you. For a qualitative, some said that if we don't interview, we should do it only one. No, there is a big problem you should understand. That why the number of respondents are less in quali. Why then? If you compare with quanti, it is much tougher. Only 10 to 15 respondents will be there. Means that 10 to 15 interviews you have to conduct. Issue here is that within that one interview, how many times you are going to sit with the person? They don't look at it. One interview, 40 sittings. Second interview, 80 sittings. Third interview, 100 sittings. Sitting means you have gone to the field, you collected the data, you come back. When you come back, you understood only 60% I understood, 40% still remaining. Or I could understand only 40%, 60% still I couldn't understand. You have to go back to the same person, same interviewee, and check. Day back yesterday, I conducted an interview, and this is exactly the scenario. And after which, I don't understand anything. Can you clarify it? So clarification of the things you don't understand in the first interview. And the second, confirmation of the things that you have done in the first interview. Whatever you understood also to be confirmed. Whatever you understood also to be confirmed. At the same time, whatever you didn't understand also to be clarified. So look at, we need to move. So the one interview doesn't mean that one interview. It's 40 sitting. It's 60 sittings, 100 sittings. So that's what quality taking so much of time. And don't feel that touching the feelings and emotions of the people is an easy task. Many times, take an example, my daughter is still maybe around 15 years, and still I couldn't understand many things. She's reached into the 15th year now, and I don't understand what she talks a lot of music, a lot of raps, a lot of things. To take a daughter itself, I'm not able to understand her feelings and emotions. Don't you think that by just sitting or by just having one interview, could you answer that? It's tough. So always remember, one interview is 30 to 40 sitting. So these 40 to 30 sitting, I'm telling that once You ask a question, they started responding to you, and there is a stage with which you feel that nothing new is coming from this person. Nothing new is coming from this person. And that particular time, you feel that everything is repeating. Everything is continuously repeating. And hence because the phenomenon that you are searching is saturated. Is a stage called as saturation. And you cannot further go beyond that. That is another thing you need to want. So once you reach the saturation stage, getting the saturation stage is very difficult. If you do that, it's very tough for you to get it. If you get that, you're okay in calling. If you're not getting that, you cannot stop it. You need to explore further. All right. So which paradigm did feminism falls? It's a very tricky question. It's a very tricky. Take an example. When you go to industry, gender issues, the person having the feeling that these male people, they're not trying to, I was exactly guiding one student from University Malaya in Malaysia when she was asking, she's belonged to one a newspaper, Chinese newspaper, and she reached up to the general manager level. And she's telling, Prof, you know that these idiot people, she's using the term idiot, these idiot people, my boss and the top management, they're not allowing my growth. They think that I'm a female. I'm a female. But you see, I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything. In this last years of my life, what I can do best to the company, but still they never promote. Means that she's touching a term, a reality, which is called as career plateau. Career plateau. And that is another issue. So when you look at that feminist movement, so you need to have a theory. So a feminist theories which are deductive in nature, feminist theories are inductive in nature. So we need to identify which area this theory belongs to and how we can get the concept deduced to that conceptual or research frames. So here, if you ask me the paradigm, it can percolate into either of these sides. Usually it is coming into interpretivism, but you can make the movement to the quantitative research by deducing the concept after getting touch with the reality. So once you can touch with the reality, all the concepts you can take out in feminism, and after that, whether the feminist theory is guiding you towards that interpretation or not. So usually I've seen that sociological and psychological, all these theories are anthropological connection is coming up. But if you want to connect with industry, or if you want to make some sort of prediction, and likewise, I may suggest movement from exploration to explanation. Next, don't you think that if the focus is on people, we need to mention the research paradigm? That if the focus is on content, no need to mention this. So this is a bit vague question. Don't you think that if the focus is on the people, take an example, customer is a people, employee is a people, stakeholder is a people. People is subjective in nature. But the issue is that it's not the people matter, it's we matter. How we approach the person, how we approach the reality. They can tell you subjectively, they can tell you objectively. So which path you are giving direction? So that focus is the content coming from. The content can be subjective, the content can be objective. So no need to mention this path. Yes, everywhere you need to mention the paradigm. Without touching the paradigm, better don't suggest any kind of research. So this one I can help answer you the questions. And another is Dr. Pramod is assessor. We can start FDP series. Of course, that is outside. You can catch up with me through what you would say. You can catch up with me through digital platform, LinkedIn, and likewise. The answer is only one answer. Yes. Second, sir, action research comes under amazing question. It's a mix of positivism and interpretivism. So take an example. I'm doing a research in a big company in Morocco now. And the project is digital transformation. And the company people approached and, Prof, we would like to know whether this research is, can we conduct this research on digital transformation? We want to completely transform our company into digital platform. It's a huge company. So the question raised is digital transformation. And this digital transformation word is connected with many realities. Digital readiness, digital competence, digital agility, digitalization, digital platform, digital understanding, digital literacy. If you look upon the mind mapping of this simple term, digital transformation, hundreds and thousands of realities connected with that. The question is, when you select positivism or interpretivism, the issue is that how many realities you are going to touch. Do you have the time in a PhD program, 4 years, to touch all the reality? Or the company people giving you, how much months you are giving you to touch the reality and give an answer, because they want immediate decision making. Industrial research, they want the pure actions. So you cannot do in an academic way industrial research. They want very fast the decision. And because time is money for them. If the time loses, money loses, business continuity loses. So we need to understand the pulse of industry. We need to understand the pulse of industry. If you want to be an industrial researcher, don't show your PhD degree, DBA degree. You show your skill in doing research in 3 months or 2 months or 5 months, complete it, give an action plan, and likewise. Right? So this may suggest you, what you would say, your choice depends on the time availability. All right. So another is realism and constructivism. This is interconnected, but still I can tell you, case studies, if you look into case studies and likewise, they approach a realistic way, one unit of analysis, the boundaries are very clear, and that's the way it is moving on. But the issue is that you cannot follow the research design of induction. You cannot follow the research design of deduction and induction. In that particular realism, you have to follow another research design, which is called as abduction. So abduction has a different feature. So this particular platform, I won't be able to, because it takes long period to explain to you, but I can tell you one thing, that you first of all, you have to engage in the constructive approach to explain a reality. So it can be integrated, the constructive philosophy to the realistic philosophy. Then only you can move towards either positivism. You can think about it. All right. So usually this can be connected, but it depends upon the nature of your problem. Then intervention method, possibly in qualitative. Of course, all action research connected is intervention models. All action research. Take an example. You are talking about digital transformation. I'm giving you this example. You are not supposed to tell that there is significant relationship between digital agility and digital competence and digital quantitative people finish the research. Quantitative people finish the research just establishing the relation, variation, and finally prediction. But after that, what these industry managers are going to do, no idea about it. So in order to do that, intervention to make possible, we need to move through qualitative dimensions and check on what kind of training programs, what kind of interventions, that is action part, and it's action research. We need to integrate it. So a lot of questions, Prof, how many theories minimum? Amazing question, but it's taken around 2 days to explain to you. You can have multiple theories. You can have single theories. All right. You just go to my LinkedIn platform and I have made a model, and that model you can download. And the first is one theory, second is second theory, and the third is combining these 2 theories, means that multiple theories explaining one model. Service quality. You can see that service quality, perceived value connected with destination image and destination, but intention to revisit. There is a model I have explained in that LinkedIn platform. So you can get that diagram. You can see that multiple theories possible. Many times, one reality you cannot explain through one theory. When the concept moving up, you need to get new theories to explain. So don't think that one theory many times sufficient enough to explain a problem, a reality, right? This is exactly the question. I'm studying leadership and transformation change. Which paradigm should I may suggest? Mixed method research. I may suggest mixed method. You should. I think I may suggest you should start with explorative study design, and because you confirm already that leadership and transformational change. So the issue is that leadership is a complex phenomenon, and whether it is a situational leader, contingent leadership, transformational, transactional, or what kind of leadership exactly, if you don't understand that leadership style first, then you cannot connect it with a change. So which type of, so we need to first of all follow, you need to interview with the people, and after that the leaders of organization, try to understand what type of leadership style they follow. Then after that, if you connect it with the change management practices, it will be so effective for certain sector. Retail sector, what leadership? Industrial, iron and ore, what is education? What type of leadership? Servant leadership, or what you would say, service mind, that means servitization model leadership, or contingent leadership, that can be decided later only. I may suggest, of course, you can do the research through Conti very fast, but in order to make the study more relevant, I may suggest changing patterns of leadership which is not defined properly. Take that leadership and then connect with the change process. I just recently wrote a paper on reflective leadership, and in that leadership, in the LinkedIn, you can see that paper. It's a white paper, and that paper is coming in a journal coming soon. So you can look at, in a crisis period of epidemic, what kind of leadership patterns are important to continue the business. So this is exactly the way you need to look. It's not just relating, variating, or understanding significant differences. This is basically to look at what are the emerging type of leadership with which we can change an organization and ensure the continuity. This is the way we need to look at the problems. So how positivism is related to positivism philosophy? A philosophy is connected. A philosophy is first coming. A philosophy is connected with a belief system. A belief system with which you are forming the assumption. So the positivism with which the reality exists independently. So the positivist people are thinking that everything to be measured. Unless and until you measure it, I'm not going to believe in it. I'm not going to believe in it. But the other people, they tell that I don't have to measure, because if somebody loves me, care me, protect me, if somebody touch my feelings and emotions, why I should think about measurements? It's not the way. You love your mama, you love your papa, you love your parents, or anybody. How much they love? I'm asking the question, how? I'm not asking why. If I ask the question why, it's going to causation. If I'm asking the question how, it's going to understanding and description. And my belief system is sufficient to move with that how. That's what I'm following, interpreted. Likewise, you need to build up the philosophy connecting with the problem. And I got wonderful answers, wonderful questions today. And I'm so happy that you attended this session, and likewise. And I'm so happy to get this many people in this platform. And I hope you understood it. And we have this platform for the next coming 2 sessions also. Kindly contact with Rita and Zainab, and they will definitely supporting you to get registered or any kind of problems, and likewise. And attend it. You'll be getting much knowledge in this digital world of sharing knowledge, and likewise. Thank you so much for your kind attendance. Best wishes to everybody. God bless you.